Charlie Kirk's passing has initiated a moral grandstanding between leftists on the internet that has shocked me to see. And not just leftists, it's been everyone, but particularly leftists, because they're saying, if you are celebrating his, and I'm not celebrating, by the way, I'm obviously anti any pew-pew. I was raised in Canada. I want peace on earth. Obviously, obvious disclaimers ahead. Obviously, this is wrong, awful, heinous, crazy, just to get that out of the way. What I'm seeing from a lot of leftist creators, particularly, Dean was the first one to cry on live stream that everyone's talking about. But then I saw a wave of people, even some of my mutuals, who were making a big ego boost out of this. In a way where they're you're celebrating, you're not a good leftist, and we are not the same. And if you don't see how sad this is, we are not. This hand gesture is direct choreography. I'm not exaggerating. Somebody actually did this Hannah Montana gesture several times, talking about how, we're not the same. If you think that this is meme worthy, if you think that this is at all something to celebrate, if you think that this is anything but just really sad and tragic and heinous and awful, and if you don't have empathy for him, we are not the same. This Hannah Montana gesture, we're talking about life and death and obviously control of pew-pews. And I'm saying pew-pew so the video doesn't get suppressed, by the way. But apparently Kirk was anti-empathy. Did you know this? I did not know. I'll be honest, I didn't know a lot about him. I didn't know a lot about him before this. But now I'm hearing all of these things, people are pasting direct quotes of him in my comment sections about him saying that empathy is a new age invention that he thinks is bad. But we're seeing more empathy for him than we see for the children who are victims of school shootings. So that to me doesn't make any sense. Why? My biggest question is, where did all of this empathy come from? All of a sudden. Because does it not seem like there's more empathy for him than there has been for the children? And isn't that odd? And so it made me think, maybe in our individualistic society, in this day and age, people identify more, not just with the white man with controversial opinions, but with the individual who is targeted. And people are saying, obviously, because it's a video that you can see. Yeah, of course. I've not watched the video. I will not be watching the video. And I do think when you see a video similar to George Floyd, it does obviously initiate a bigger response. However, I think children should be a big deal, especially a lot of children. And I think when somebody wrote that apparently Don Lemon said he died in the world he wanted. I don't know if he said it about Charlie Kirk or he just said that about someone. But I don't know. His quotes are pretty damning. His quotes of saying, some deaths are necessary to keep God's Second Amendment right. Why are we always bringing God into heinous acts? Isn't that crazy? And people keep bringing God into this. It's so exhausting. As somebody who has her own personal relationship with God and religion that is not it's not public, it's not organized religion, I don't do things the way other people do things when it comes to my faith, and I like it that way. But I still believe in things, and I still get really annoyed and weirded out when people use God to excuse their heinous acts and also lazy thinking and also selfishness. And I think that people have let their intuition atrophy in the name of not God, though. It's not actually God. It's this person, some man that they're following, whether it's Charlie Kirk or someone else, who is saying these wrong, dangerous things in the name of God, and you're believing him because it's easier to sort of defer than to think for yourself, even though thinking for yourself and clarifying your intuition and energetic discernment is a God-given skill that you're meant to nourish. but you've let it atrophy, and you're listening to this idiot who hates you tell you how to build a world that hates you and your children. And you call that God. And you think God's not going to laugh in your face when you get to wherever you think you're going after this, which I don't believe in traditional whatever that is either, but that's not really here nor there. For these people who believe in it, right? Their logic. If you think you're going to heaven after this, God would laugh in your face and say, oh, so you, what? You use my name to justify school shootings? And they actually have the cognitive dissonance to say, yeah. And to listen to a man say that and go, yeah, that's a man of God. And I'm like, so critical thinking, intuition, and God, to me, all go together. Because that makes more sense. But whatever. I'm not here to indoctrinate you into my faith. But I just think it's really sad and awful and heinous because the way people are talking about God right now is their definition of blasphemy. Like, it's not just the contradictions, it's the fact that I'm like, you have deluded yourself into literally fighting for hate and darkness and like draconian lizards. Like, just because somebody says we should allow lots of people to be sacrificed in the name of their own self-proclaimed God-given right of Second Amendment, which I don't agree with. Like, I believe in control of pew-pews, and Charlie Kirk did not. So when somebody is a result of what they believed in, and then you see that happen and these leftists go, well, this is a good time for me to talk about how I'm better than everyone else, and this is a good time for an ego boost. So notice how that's not really mourning anyone either, is my point. I'm like, these people are acting like they care. I don't think they actually care. I think they're worried for themselves, and that's what brings me back to, like, why would you be worried? Is it because in this individualistic society, you're afraid you're going to be targeted too for your own opinions? That's where I end up at. But why don't you see yourself in the children? Like, why don't you see yourself in the children? And, there's this quote that children are the most oppressed class. And it's something you don't want to hear, but a lot of times it's true. And I actually had an ex who, this was one of he made a few really good points that I think about sometimes. And one of them was that he was like, this country hates children. And I really thought about it and I was like, whoa, you're actually right. You're actually so right, and we don't talk about it enough. But I don't know. It's really sad, and I think that people have just gotten so desensitized and dissociated to not just what happens in schools, but what's happening across the world, to the point where it's surprising to me to see this much empathy come out for just one man. So I don't know. It's been surprising to see. I was like, did you have this much empathy the whole time? That's good to know. You know what I mean? Obviously, again, I think it's wrong. I think it's crazy. I think we need to control these weapons. I'm anti-weapon, you guys. I'm really anti all that. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you soon. I've been so consistent. You have to subscribe now, and you have to send it to 5 friends. If you care about me and if you love me, you'll do that. And tell them to subscribe too. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye.